Workers' Day because it is the working class and poor that fill our prisons. Rich folks don't go to jail, don't get targeted or murdered by the police because the role of prisons and the police is to protect wealth and the people who have it. At UC Santa Cruz, many of our desks are made by San Quentin prisoners. In our children's underfunded schools, counselors are being replaced by police officers, and our youth are being funneled into prisons. Our schools are closing to make way for expansion, so we have a prison bed for every child, but not a seat in a classroom. Why are there general strikes happening across the world today? Because we will no longer work for a system that does not work for us. The same system that is throwing us out of our homes, our schools, making our lives unlivable, is building warehouses where the resulting poor, unemployed, homeless, and mentally ill will be dumped. We must make it stop. We must dismantle the ideology that for us to be free, some of us must be unfree. That some of us must be in cages day in and day out. We are taught to forget about prisoners. And that is exactly the purpose of these institutions, to make people disappear. To criminalize them so they are seen as less than human, and then to lock them in a dark hole where they lose most or all contact with the outside world. This system, the PIC, rests on the belief that some lives are worth more than others. I could not let International Workers' Day pass without talking about prisons. The most alienated and exploited workers are behind prison walls. The growth of prisons is not inevitable. It does not just happen. It is the result of political choices made by those in power. The 1% ensures that they have access to cheap labor and orange jumpsuits while they condition us to believe that this incarcerated workforce is not human, that we should be afraid of them, distant from them. And even in our education system, they train us to be obedient workers, to be ready for alienation, for deadlines, efficiency, to present ourselves as sane in a system that is sick, and we deserve better. And there is a connection between the lack of ethnic studies in this education system and the amount of people of color filling our prisons.
True.
Caging people does not make us safer. To stop the prison industrial complex, we must resist institutionalized public safety and build a culture of accountability in its place, where security comes to mean freedom from racism and misogyny, and living in a safe community means self-determination, not surveillance by men in uniform.
Woo!
Because the poverty-stricken, the homeless, the young, queer people, people of color, gender non-conforming people, the mentally ill, the undocumented, and increasingly women, these are the faces of our prison population. Imprisonment is not a response to violence. It is a form of control that is violent in and of itself. And if we are fighting racism, sexism, homophobia, imperialism, capitalism, we must be fighting the prison system. And we must be fighting it together if we want to win. This is not justice. This is not humane. This must change. Thank you.
Woo! Woo!